Vice-Chancellor, fellow council members and staff of the university, graduands, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. It is customary for the university and its guests to gather as a body for the purpose of conferring academic awards on its graduates. To members of a university, a ceremony for the conferring of awards is a particularly important and happy occasion in the university year. In weather like we have today in Newcastle, I suppose even happier. To all of you, I extend a warm welcome. To graduands, graduates and diplomates, I offer congratulations and best wishes. This morning we've gathered in order that awards may be conferred on those who have satisfied the Council of the University that they have met the requirements for admission to awards undertaken within the faculties of Architecture, Art and Design and Music. The university's mission commits it to the provision of quality education, research training and service in partnership with industry, commerce and the community, regionally, nationally and internationally, and the continuous improvement and review of this provision. The university has a commitment to the advancement and transmission of knowledge by the pursuit, recognition and the achievement of excellence in scholarship, research and teaching. This will be evidenced in the course of today's ceremony. Education today is about the acquisition of lifelong learning skills. I believe that the awards to be conferred upon our graduates and diplomats today will qualify them to make significant contributions in the local, national and in some cases international community, although it is the beginning of a journey and not the end. Lastly, I take this opportunity to remind those receiving their testaments today that as graduates and diplomats of the university, you automatically become members of Convocation. You thus join some 40,000 other graduates and have an opportunity through elected representatives to become involved in the governance of the university. Through Convocation, you will also be kept informed of activities and developments at the university. By the authority conferred upon me by the Council, I will now formally confer academic awards. Will all candidates for admission to degrees and other awards please stand? In the name of the Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I confer the awards specified in the programme on all those graduates and diplomats who are present today and in absentia on those unable to be present. I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Architecture to present graduates from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Construction Management in the specialisation of Building. Anthony Patrick Bull. Philip Cruz. Jamie Cunningham. Kevin Moriarty. Andrew Oldfield. Stephen White. Francis Chen Shi Wong. And with honours, Class 2, Division 2, Kieran Barlow. Jason Benbow. Simone Honeysett. Mark Humby. Kylie Mackenzie. Jamie Nelson. With Honours Class 2 Division 1, David Hogendijk. And with Honours Class 1, Daniel Bailey. Brandon Finucane. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Science in the specialisation of Architecture. Michael Corrigan. Andrew Lee. Lee Kek Hyan Andrew Nicholas. Brendan Lowndes. Stephen Moten. Mluk Neme. Justin Pearson. Ifjania Ratcliffe. Oded Reshes. Martina Shelley. And with merit, Maxim Bakimov. Stuart Chapman. Dewar Cox. Wayne Dickerson. Philip Fairfax. Eleanor Fowler. John Guider. Brooke Holsworth. Darren Marr. Jason McCarthy. Andrew Nichols. Helen Stronach. Paul Vagnus. Daniel Vaughan. Jason Wedersweiler. Shane Wood. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Architecture. Rodney Buckton. Raymond Chan. Scott Chappell. Shannon Kendall. Rebecca Plumstead. And with honours, Class 2, Michael Bannock. Jeremy Bradley. Janine Deschamps. George Farrington. Harshini Kahagali. Belinda McCarg. Michael Rogers. Linda Smith. And with honours Class 1, Daniel Brough. Megan Frew. Janet Henriksen. Andrew Lamond. Jason Trisley. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Architecture.
I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Art and Design to present graduates from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Arts Design in the specialisation of Graphic Design. Jennifer Berry. Erica Bonifaz. Jacob Corsby. Narelle Fountain. Jason Glenfield. Lisa Keogh. Sandy Leyland. Michael Newton. Carol Pearson. Timothy Ryder. David Shipman. Tania Simonovsky. Belinda Spillane. Paul Spinks. Anne Whitelaw. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Arts Design in the specialisation of Industrial Design. Cassandra Billett. Timothy Black. Kira Brown. Christy Clifford Lane. Matthew Conway. Michael Daly. Nicola Gambuzzi. Peter Hackney. Ashley Howarth. Annalise James. Erica Kawabi. Peter Martin. Shelley Mitchell. Melinda Parr. Peter Pezzuto. Shane Ruiner. Christopher Shepherd. Andrew Smith. Matthew Stapleton. Rebecca Swain. Matthew Vale. Matthew Waterman. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the specialisation of Visual Arts. Samantha Arnold. Simone Atkins. Michael Atkinson. Tara Buff. Maria Baker. John Baleen. Peter Baleen. Caroline Bates. Wendy Beard. Sue Baybor. Nineke Brand. Deidre Brollo. Benjamin Carblis. Adam Chow. Megan Condon. Rebecca Kopp. Helene Cullerton. Megan Davenport. Sonia Fardy. Fiona Firkin. Jamin Forrest. Lara Galini. Sue Gorings. Kelly Goff. Doreen Greentree. Angela Harris. Carol Hartwig. Jennifer Head. Angela Heraclius. Nina Kate Howlett. Anne Marie Hunter. Fiona Aiken. Dorothy Johnston. Justine Kennedy. Luana King. Bradley Kincaid. Sylvia McMahon. Cameron Mitchell. Susanna Mitchell. Sophie Nastov. Kylie Peake. Truly Peters. Breda Rebeck. Nadine Ross. Belinda Russell. Peter Schroeder. Paula Sheras. Braden Snape. Rosemary Spooner. Naomi Stolper. Catherine Sullivan. Delilah Van Wyck. Bernadette Verschelden. Valinda Wardell. Tarella Lee Watt. Larissa Wenman. Mark White. John Wilkes. Fiona Wilson. Katrina Witz. Kim Wood. Katrina York. Chancellor, I present to you candidates who have satisfied requirements for the award of the Graduate Diploma in Art. Rokina Gilly. Helena Goxol. Andrew Jackson. Margot Main. Natalie Shering. Catherine Strutt. Jennifer Strutt. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Art and Design.
I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Music to present diplomats and graduates from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you a candidate who has satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Music. Sonia Lansdowne. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Music. Anne Campbell. Kim Darby. Emma Haining. Rowena Harris. Rebecca Jones. Mary Kelly. Yi Chun Yu. Cassandra Mohab. Kate Richards. Heidi Seaton. Natalie Sokolovsky. Bronwyn Wells. Kim Wythes. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate for the degree of Bachelor of Music with Honours, with Class 2, Division 2, Teresa Gray. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Music. Daniel Dries. Wendy Patston. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of diplomats and graduates of the Faculty of Music.
Chancellor, I have pleasure in presenting to you Nigel Butterley, a member of the Order of Australia, for admission to the degree of Doctor of Music honoris causa. Nigel Butterley was born in Sydney in 1935. He grew up in Beecroft in an Anglican family. His parents fostered a love of good music, literature and painting in him. He studied the piano from the age of 5 and in his mid-teens was an accomplished pianist. His skill and devotion to the piano continue, and today he is regarded highly as a pianist, particularly in 20th century music. His recent recording of Cage's sonatas and interludes has won critical acclaim in Australia and abroad. At 15, Nigel Butterley decided upon a career in composition, and as with many promising young musicians, found employment with the Australian Broadcasting Commission, where he became a producer and planner of radio and concert programs. Like his friend and colleague Richard Meale, Nigel Butterley used his ABC years to learn as much as he could about composition. By the beginning of the 1960s, and following a period of study at the Sydney Conservatorium with Raymond Hansen, Nigel Butterley had established his technical competence in composition. In 1961, Nigel Butterley journeyed to Europe and studied composition with Prieur Régnier. This period had a profound influence upon his development and his confidence. With his return to Australia, he produced a series of major works which established him as one of Australia's leading young composers. This began with the instrumental octet Laudes in 1963 and continued with the ABC commission In the Head the Fire in 1966, which won the coveted Italia Prize ahead of Berrioz's Labyrinthus II and Meditations of Thomas Traherne, 1968. From this time, Nigel Butterley has maintained an impressive output of works in all forms and genres. His recent music, From Sorrowing Earth, 1991, The Woven Light, 1993, and his String Quartet No. 4, 1994, have confirmed his preeminence in serious music composition in Australia. In 1973, Nigel Butterley left the ABC to take up an appointment as lecturer in contemporary music and composition at the Newcastle Conservatorium. In this role, he proved to be an outstanding teacher, particularly as he provided for students an ethical model in the service of music. Through his teaching, a generation of young music students developed an understanding and love of the complexities of 20th century music. As testimony to his effectiveness as a teacher, his past students maintain a close contact with him and continue to seek his advice. He retired from the University of Newcastle in 1992 in order to concentrate his efforts in composition. The Sydney Herald music critic John Carmody says of Butterley, "In his music there is a strength which flows from great personal and spiritual conviction. There are, sometimes together in the same work, sometimes separately, those two characteristics of the finest and most compelling religious expression, contemplation and ecstasy." Nigel Butterley's music is universally regarded, particularly by his peers, as unfailingly honest, technically brilliant, and as a manifestation of deeply felt convictions about God, the world, and its precarious state of existence. His music is also about people and evokes both a serious concern and optimism. In 1991, Nigel Butterley was awarded the Order of Australia for services to music. Chancellor, it is with great pleasure that I present to you Nigel Butterley for admission to the degree of Doctor of Music honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority delegated in me by the Council, I hereby admit Nigel Butterley, Member of the Order of Australia, to the degree of Doctor of Music honoris causa.
Chancellor, I have great pleasure in presenting to you Yahoo Sirius for admission to the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa. Chancellor, Yahoo Sirius grew up in Cardiff in Newcastle. At the age of 16, he won the Newcastle Matara Art Prize for painting. In 1973, he commenced fine arts studies at the Newcastle branch of the National Art School, where he encouraged staff to include filmmaking as part of the fine art curriculum. When in the mid-70s the university, then the Newcastle College of Advanced Education, assumed responsibility for the Diploma of Art course, Yahoo Sirius was briefly a student here. Tertiary studies were not really for him at this time, and he moved more seriously into filmmaking and in particular documentaries. These included Lifestyles and Coal Town, Australia's history through the socio-political microcosm of Newcastle. He became NBN's film editor and within 6 months was promoted to documentary director. In 1977, he won the Australian Penguin Award for the Best Educational TV Documentary. He then spent a 3-year period where he travelled extensively overseas and began writing, directing and performing comedy. By 1983, he had begun writing and developing Young Einstein. This culminated in 1988 with its production. He became the first Australian to write, direct, produce and star in a feature film. Young Einstein was a huge national and international success, both critically and at the box office, where it achieved #1 position in Australia, Britain, Canada, and throughout Europe. It became one of the most successful Australian movies ever released in the United States of America. The soundtrack produced by Yahoo Sirius achieved a double platinum award. In 1989, he was featured on the cover of Time magazine. In 1993, the movie Reckless Kelly, which he wrote, directed, produced and starred in, achieved #1 movie at the Australian box office. It chronicled the satirical adventures of Ned Kelly, the Robin Hood-styled outlaw who accidentally becomes a Hollywood movie star. The film champions a new Australian flag, a republic, our Aboriginal heritage and multiculturalism, while examining the Australian tribe on the world stage. Reckless Kelly was successfully released worldwide by Warner Brothers. Yahoo Serious is quoted as stating that films are a massive collision of art and money and entertainment. The primary consideration for him is to maintain creative control. He continues to write, direct, produce and perform. His contributions to all aspects of filmmaking are internationally recognised. Filmmaking, however, is not the only side of Yahoo Serious. He is ever ready to switch to social issues and philosophical questions. He has concerns for the environment, education and civil liberties. Film directors, he insists, have a heavy social responsibility to probe moral and social questions. Chancellor, it is with great pleasure that I present to you Yahoo Serious for the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority delegated in me by the Council, I hereby admit Yahoo Serious to the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. We will now have a musical interlude of two works composed by Dr. Butterley. I would now like to call on Dr. Sirius to deliver the occasional address.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, university staff, fellow Novocastrians, Mum, Dad, my family, Lulu, and importantly, fellow graduates. As you heard in the little piece about me, when I started here, the campus was elsewhere. In fact, we weren't even part of the university originally. And you know, back then when I was a student, me and all my radical arty friends used to make fun of these ceremonies. You know, people walking around in crazy robes, the funny hats, the titles. We used to think that the whole thing was a bit silly. Because now, from up here, in this outfit, I can see I was completely wrong. You know, it's great, and it's really terrific to be here. Becoming a Doctor of Letters collided with two memorable conversations recently in America. The first occurred last month, about an hour after my meeting with the President. Not Clinton, someone more powerful than him, the President of Warner Brothers. So I was on a real adrenaline buzz when I walked into my hotel foyer. Suddenly this Mexican bellboy rushed up and said, Mr. Sirius, wife called with urgent message. I said, what is it, Jose? He said, your wife, she say, doctor want to give you lettuce. When I called Lulu and asked, you know, what doctor, what's this with the lettuce? She told me the correct title, what the correct title was. I was thrilled and said, I'm probably the only Doctor of Letters who does his own stunts. But really, I'd like to very sincerely thank everyone involved for inviting me home for this wonderful honour. Thank you. In movie making, the public spotlight is almost always upon the actor. There's probably very few people in this room who could name the actor who first played Hamlet. But we're all aware of who wrote it. Acting is great fun and at times extremely difficult, but it is an interpretive art form. For me, the great creative challenges come from the processes of writing, directing, and seeing original ideas take shape. Marcel Duchamp said, art is what one decides it shall be. I realised that even coming up with a name could be an interesting concept. So I did. Then I stopped painting. Not to reject painting, but to play with a far more complex art form, cinema. Movie making is a huge collaborative undertaking which requires inclusion of all other art forms just to exist. It's a collision of conceptual art, of theatre, of painting, of photography, of architecture, of dance, of music, of design and literature. The point is most art forms seem to be cross-pollinating at an exponential rate these days. So you graduates, artists of the new millennium, will not only be the vanguard of our republic, under a new flag and amid an exciting multicultural society, but you'll be working within the fastest evolving creative environment ever. Whatever field you go into, this is your time. You own the culture. In the current political climate, change may not be a priority, but to the creative spirit, change equals life. Embrace change because a culture bereft of change is dead. Like the university motto, I look ahead. We must. Newcastle Uni has always had a vision of the future. When I was a kid, I used to ride my horse around this campus when they were building it. Even then, back in the 60s, something radical was going on. The architects were keeping all the trees. Think about that. Environmentalists before they even had a word for it. So when you walk out here today, have another look at the gum trees. You'll notice no two are the same. Each one has its own distinctive personality. As a group, they conform to a beautiful mass aesthetic, yet gum trees are all individual. And that's what being Australian means to me. When British artists first came here, they saw our landscape as strange. Their experience of the trees was uniformity, the same as their rigid sociological traditions. In their paintings, they tried to make our trees look like European trees. And it didn't work. Our families are the lucky ones who wound up here in paradise, particularly in Newcastle. And like our trees, we need to be individuals to feel our sense of place here. That's what's great about this campus. It's all around you. I came from a little place a few miles down the road, Cardiff. The values, the sense of humour, the view of the world, which made my movies different, yet popular worldwide, all started from here. Take a lesson from an Australian tree. Be an individual and always express it in your work. From personal experience, I can tell you that one year you can be laughed at by absolutely everyone for selling your old bomb car to buy a few rolls of film to start a movie about a young bloke from Tasmania called Albert Einstein. And the next year you'll find yourself on the cover of Time magazine. It happens. While the general misconception has been laid to rest that it's not young Philistines that come from Newcastle, it's young Einsteins, there are still a frightening amount of people out there who believe that art is just a bloke's name. I remember at the time, friends thought it would be a substantially retrograde step that after fitting tyres for 3 years, I'd be wasting my hard-earned savings coming here to study art. And it sure hasn't been, you know. In fact, they told me that a career as an artist wouldn't last as long as some things in their refrigerator. But the creative life of the mind is a truly wild and wonderful adventure. Besides, what happens if you do nothing? That's right, nothing. Don't abandon your dreams because of your critics or lack of support. You don't need money to be creative or to gain knowledge. You don't even need a job. Both make it easier, but I've found you can go a long way without either. At some point, it all pays off. Art is society's immortality, and yours if you choose to let the genie out of the bottle. Think about this. Today, the media assaults us with a deluge of business and sporting heroes. Sometimes they're all we talk about, as if the world revolved around them. Now let's try and recall who were the 5 greatest businessmen or 5 greatest sportsmen of the 19th century. Most of us would struggle to name 1 or 2. But if I were to ask the graduates here today to name the 5 greatest creative spirits or original thinkers of the last century, they could passionately argue over a landslide of contenders. My point is that art lives and survives because it records and reflects the ascent of knowledge. Right now, it's the most democratic age of expression our planet has known. As Einstein said, it's not the answers that are hard, it's working out the right questions to ask. I hope your graduates continue to be passionate questioners. No questions. That wouldn't work. Here we go. This is the other bit of the story from LA. A few weeks ago, I was at a party in Los Angeles, sitting on the back of a lounge chair with a bloke. He'd been so busy that night he hadn't had time to eat, so he was stuffing down a ham roll he'd made up himself. His name was Mel Gibson. I was congratulating him on the 2 Academy Awards he had lying at his feet. He asked me what I'd been up to lately. I told him I'd just finished writing another movie, then added, "Hey, you should have a go at writing." He said it's too hard, and he's right. But of all the different aspects of creativity, I value the original concepts above all else, because there lies the greatest prize, the birth of a new idea. I'm a 5th generation Novocastrian. When possible, I like to film parts of my movies here because many of my stories are part of this place. I've found that from this great town you can achieve anything, even dance with your art on the international stage. I love to explore the profound through the comedic. Laughing with life is a useful way of commenting upon the human condition. Irony seems to be my shadow, and this ceremony is no exception. Not everyone knows this, but until today, I never graduated. I was actually thrown out for writing surreal jokes on large canvases which I hung across the front of the art school. Ironically, I guess, the reason I'm standing here now is for writing jokes across the movie screens of the world. So it can kind of happen anyway, you know. Good luck to all the graduates here today. You know, you can sort of find yourself anywhere in the world with your art, and the craziest things sort of happen as each year goes by. About 6 years ago, I was on the Champs-Élysées. It was the premiere of Young Einstein in Paris, and the Lord Mayor of Paris was opening the movie. It's a red carpet affair, and the Lord Mayor of Paris at that time was Jacques Chirac. And we met and we spoke a little French. I'm not real good, but we got by. And then he opened the movie. He went down the front and spoke passionately about French-Australian relations, and particularly, I guess his minders had seen the movie and saw what it was about. And he made a very passionate address about his then beliefs, which are what his beliefs are again, but they changed for a short time, and that was that he was happy the film was about nuclear disarmament and getting rid of the atomic bomb, which of course became very ironic. And when he finished, he said how much he would enjoy seeing the film and look forward to it. It was very important to him. And then he sat down next to me, and the credits started to roll. The lights went down, the credits started to roll. And as soon as that happened, he said bye-bye and got down on his hands and knees and snuck off to some other political thing. We found out the reason he was there was because the opening to Young Einstein was being broadcast live on French television, and once the television broadcast had finished, he was off to somewhere else. And I couldn't help but think of a line in Young Einstein: if you can't trust the politicians of the world, who can you trust? And the last I saw of Jacques Chirac was his bottom disappearing as my movie came up on the screen. You graduates should be enormously proud of what you've achieved. Congratulations to your families for their support. I know what families put up with, because mine had to put up with a lot. They always thought I was crazy, but I just like to say to the families, the crazier that it appears that your children be, the more proud you might be of them later. So give them plenty of rope. They won't hang themselves. They'll climb the top of the mountain. I'd personally like to thank my family, my wife Lulu, my lecturers. These guys didn't throw me out. They wanted to keep me in. Yeah. I think they threw that guy out. I don't know. And my fellow students, some of them who are lecturers now. In particular, the University of Newcastle, and everybody connected with the events of today. Thank you all so very much. This means a hell of a lot to me. Thank you.
Dr. Sirius, where are your family sitting?
Just there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think you'll agree with me that that wasn't a bad serve of lettuce and a pretty reasonable dressing. It's. I think it's very appropriate today to have an occasional address from the talented Dr. Sirius in a day where we have architecture, art and music graduates, the creative end of the education business, if you like. And that was a very thoughtful, thought-provoking address. And I think we all took pleasure with your thrill of associating on the world stage. And it's vicarious pleasure, but it's great. And congratulations, and thank you very much for that address. I now have great pleasure in inviting Miss Megan Frew to speak on behalf of the graduates.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests and fellow graduates. Before commencing, I must admit that this is one of the most daunting tasks I've ever faced, and it's not because of the huge number of people I have to address or the consequences of public failure. It's actually due to the difficulty of trying to express the way that I and other graduates feel today. From experience, the graduation ceremony creates a strange collection of emotions within the graduate, a mix of pride, relief, nostalgia and terror behind a veil of newfound maturity, sophistication and apparent indifference. Each graduate feels differently, but what we have in common is the fact that today is the ceremonial end to a very influential part of our lives. We have come to the University of Newcastle from a diverse range of backgrounds, but the decision to undertake tertiary education is a big step for any person, regardless of age, education or economic circumstances. The change from a normal life to that of a student is dramatic. Being at university suddenly makes you incapable of keeping appointments, submitting your tax return, eating anything naturally green, or remembering Mother's Day, birthdays, or any activity associated with the outside world. What you are capable of remembering and planning around is Thursday night at the bar, lunch at the Union, Autonomy Day, frat parties, Melrose Place, and X-Files. The benefit of being a member of one of the smaller faculties, as most of us are here today, is the strong sense of belonging and camaraderie. Study is made more bearable and even enjoyable by having others with whom you can commiserate, argue, console and compete. The friendships made in this environment will remain strong over the years, based on these common experiences and interests. To many, this is the ceremonial end of our university lives. However, the real break took place 5 months ago when the final assignment was completed. The gradual realisation that this is not just a very long Christmas holiday has come as much more of a shock than expected. I still have difficulty contemplating the possibilities available for a weekend and being able to watch as much TV as I want without having to fake illness to convince myself that it's justified. The day I received my last Austudy payment was a very sad day. But it was overshadowed by the exhilaration as on April the 1st, I paid full fare on public transport for the first time ever. It may seem easy to make that break from the university life of hard work and poverty, but it is occasions such as this that make you realise what an important part of your life university has been. Who could truthfully say that they won't miss being able to spend all week in such a beautiful environment with the best chips and gravy in Newcastle and the company of people who represent as diverse a cross-section of society available? It was nearly 7 years ago that I moved to Newcastle to start university from a town half the size of this campus and started studying a subject for which I was totally unprepared. In that first terrifying week, we were told to look at the people sitting on either side of us because they wouldn't be there at final graduation. It is remarkable how accurate that prediction was. The scary thing was that as we were looking, we were also being looked at. So what is it that has distinguished us from those who aren't here today? Far from having a superior level of intelligence, as our parents would have us believe, it is actually a variety of circumstances that has provided us the financial, emotional and educational support to accomplish our goals. University study requires many sacrifices on the part of the student, as well as those friends, family and partners in close contact with them. Without all these people, none of us would be here today. Mums sending vitamins and new underwear in the mail, dads offering advice on car insurance, friends typing and writing assignments, partners ignoring lack of attention and bad moods, or lecturers explaining for the 10th time something that only you seem not to understand. Our success has a lot to do with these people. But what has driven us to persevere and accomplish our goals is a passion for our chosen discipline. It is that passion that will guide us through a future where decisions are increasingly made based on economic and political reasoning. We are all involved in the process of creation, whether it is the creation of architecture, art, design or music. We have a responsibility to use our skills within an environment of economic rationalism to provide society with the spiritual needs that we know are priceless. Some graduates here today may have already secured the perfect job, but many more of us have yet to reach that stage of stability. Our degree is a very big undertaking, but the result is a form of independence and a sense of purpose that can't be matched. We leave the University of Newcastle with a wealth of knowledge that sees us prepared for a future which is increasingly characterised by rapid social changes and in employment. The knowledge we take with us is the basis of our continued development and education as individuals. Thank you.
I would like to thank Ms. Frew for her speech. I must say the point about the mighty transition from the last Austudy payment to paying full fare is an interesting one. It might be a pleasure now, but I put it to you, the pleasure will be but fleeting. I think it's marvellous to stand here and all of us support your beautifully expressed views. This is the beginning. It's the end of the first phase of what will be a wonderful life, I'm sure. Ladies and gentlemen, I now declare this ceremony concluded. Graduates and guests are invited to join us for refreshments, which will be served in the marquee on the northern side of the Great Hall, an innovation which I think you'll agree adds a festive air to this ceremony. So please join us.